Did you want to get any work in the preseason, or were you fine just easing your way in?
I can't even remember the last preseason I've been in, but obviously I want to play, but my job is, through this process I've learned what I do need and what I don't need, and if I don't get the reps on the field, I can still get them mentally. That's what I was doing last year. Just trying to stay locked in. So it's less about getting the physical reps at this point. I'll be ready for the season.
You've talked too about obviously the desire to win the Super Bowl. How much better do you feel about that, being closer to that objective than maybe years past?
I feel the same, every year, week one. But it's the process you got to go through. Nobody's crowned in September, and everybody's fighting for the same spot. The goal is to make the playoffs, win playoff games, win a Super Bowl. You can't complete without the other. It's got to go in that order, and so you can't rush this process. But we got a lot of great guys that I think can build on that, and I'm just excited to see this journey we're about to go on.
Speaking of that process,
there's been a lot of talk about Russ's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned about the way he leads, working with him from the start of OTAs?
I think he communicates very well. I think whether it's running backs, wide receivers, O-line, he wants to have that dialogue with a lot of guys. Whether it's in a meeting or it's not as structured as that, I think he does a great job of working with guys and understand what they like and understand it's a collaborative effort.
I was watching your podcast. Did you think he was a good fit for this team before he signed here? I mean, you kind of recruited him, right?
I think there's a talent there, and I don't know if I ever thought it was going to be possible, but I think things just lined up the way it was. And I've just got a chance to really know him, understand what type of man he is, what he's searching for, what he's seeking after. You can't replace that type of Super Bowl experience. Playing in 2, winning 1. I'm trying to get to my first. I'm trying to win it. So, still picking his brain on that.
Speaking of lining up in the process, few new faces on defense, now going through an entire offseason. Are you happy where you guys are right now, and with this new scheme and new people surrounding you on defense?
Well, I think up front we got a deep group. Me, Larry, Keanu's second year. Connor's not going to do anything. Leal, I think, has really, grown a lot. Dean Lowry, Loudermilk. I just think we have a complete group up front that, allows us to play with a lot more freedom. And then I think we've just completed a lot of other positions where you bring in a guy like Patrick Queen, D-Jack, Deshaun Elliott. I think these guys are all pieces to the puzzle.
To that point, Cam, like Loudermilk did some good things late in the preseason. Lowry seemed to get healthy in a hurry late as camp was rolling along there. So did that allow them to kind of move the roster the way that they did, like Leal basically soaking up a lot of snaps, looks like an outside linebacker because of the other depth components you have along the defensive line?
Mike T always talks about, one man's misfortune is another man's treasure. And I think when, we've had guys down, it's allowed other guys to grow. I think Keanu really relished that and grew a lot when I was injured. It's just related a lot of good cohesion and a lot of, experience that you need at this level. And I think it's just going to benefit us. I think we're healthy at the right time, but I know it's the beginning of the season. But it's going to allow us to, stay fresh and, stay locked up.
Cam, where have you seen Keanu's game take the biggest jump forward?
I think his pass rush, using his hands, winning his one-on-ones. I think he's really grown in that approach, getting on the edge. And, I know there's still more to work on with that. I think as much growth as he had, he still hasn't reached his, his ceiling, and looking forward to seeing him grow.
What about Logan Lee? In his first year, what have you seen?
Yeah, Logan's a smart guy, plays with a good base, good hands, plays a similar style of defense at, Iowa before, but very knowledgeable guy. Playbook wasn't the answer. I think it's just getting caught up in, the speed of everything. So, there's going to be growth there, but I like where he's headed.
You hopeful to be available for that opener?
Yeah, for sure, man. I want to be a resource to the team, and whatever position they have me playing, or in terms of how much I'm playing, is up to them. I'm just kind of going out there and taking that position head on. So
You've had one half as a preseason game
Yeah.
as a pro. Do you feel prepared if they ask you to start and play September 8th, you can play a regular season full game in the NFL?
yeah, I mean, I got no choice. You know what I mean? You know, I can sit there and wish and hope away my life away about wanting to play these last couple preseason games, but that's just not how the cards unfolded. So just making sure that I'm prepared and mentally preparing myself for anything that comes.
I remember you saying, like after your first mini camp practice, you weren't thrilled with it, you got better. First training camp practice, same thing, you got better. You haven't had the opportunity to show that you can get better after that first Texans game. If it's splashing in the regular season, you mentally prepared for that, to take that leap?
100%. For me, it's just making sure that, that I'm getting better every day. I know that sounds cliche, but it's real. Like for me, especially being a rookie coming in and being in this room, trying to elevate the room as much as I can and learning as much as I can, because a lot of these guys have game experience. Like I said, like you guys said, I only had a half. So just making sure that I'm taking things from them and just applying it to my routine as well, going into, whatever position they put me in come week one or going forward.